Last time on Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice.
You have flown a few clicks south, and you find a little plateau, and you see a small-ish field of black flowers waving in the wind. Cookie, you have a bottle in your hand. You have, I'll say, like a gallon from the flowers that you were able to obtain of this black, pretty water-like liquid.
She says, maybe a diffuser?
Sure. That sounds like a great idea. Do you guys have one of those?
Maybe we could repurpose the sort of air horn into a diffuser horn.
Can you blow balloons?
I can blow balloons right through my fingers.
If we can get the liquid into the balloons somehow, then we have balloons that will pop as soon as they get anywhere near the magma monster.
Balloons are a great part of the
the
party.
blind rage, probably.
Yeah, we can use a balloon offensive.
You folks lower yourself down this rope and into the lower portion of the facility. BBW forces it through, lifting this thing over and setting it upright, revealing the tank beneath. In that process, you feel your foot like sever at the bottom like quarter, and you drop down a little bit, but then force it back into its place. When you cut this, that colorlessness travels all the way up the vein. And Carl, as you're peeking around the side of this big machine, you actually see that colorless trail down the machine and into this hot area. And the trail leads right up into a patch of large white eggs. And the egg shakes and cracks, and out of this egg slithers a smaller, probably like the size of a full-grown like boa constrictor, a purple worm.
And now we return to our adventure.
And that is where we left ourselves, is with BBW and Slippy at the thing you're looking for, and Carl being attacked by a baby purple worm. And Cookie, you did your forage roll, and you only got one of your objects, but you rolled like a 13 or something, so you should have gotten a common ingredient. I'm going to do a brief retcon and say that as you lean down to, harvest that, you also found sheets of rust moss growing on the bottom of one of these machines, and you reached over and using your knife that you have, were you about to use it for this, you sheared off 3 cracker-sized sheets of rust moss. That's your common ingredient. You got a gourmet ingredient last time. That should be like the lava vein. I don't know if there's anything on there.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Magma ginger, right. As you cut it, it dried up and turned into like a stalk-like of ginger. Okay, so that is where we will open as the purple worm has hatched. I actually don't think it actually leapt at Carl. It hatched and like reared back and spat at Carl, but more of like a hissing, spit.
Gotcha.
Carl, what do you do?
How many eggs are there?
10 eggs in total. The worm is the size of a full-grown boa constrictor. Massive.
Is that the baby worm you said?
Yes, this is a baby purple worm.
God damn.
I mean, having seen the adult outside, it's a large.
No, man.
Carl doesn't know anything about purple worms, and 10 of these looks like too much to take on. So first instinct is to get out of the immediate vicinity. How close am I to the eggs?
To the eggs, you're probably about 20, 25 feet. You're pretty close to the eggs. They're in this small little... It's a room, but it's only a room in the loosest sense. It's like the backs of all these machines coming together to be like a bit of unused space, right, on the factory floor. There's just 10 of these eggs. Some of them are growing on the walls, They have their like bases kind of coming off the walls, but they're all in this little divot that these veins are trailing to.
I guess my instinct is to try to find something to take cover behind, a large machine, or even dip into like a hallway. Something to try to, since there's only one actively that has noticed me, I'm thinking maybe if I just lose its trail, and either way, if I do end up having to engage them, then I'll still be behind cover. So Arl's gonna kind of slip behind. I don't know, you said it's a factory floor, so I guess a nearby piece of machinery, perhaps under some conveyor belts of some kind.
Yeah,
I don't know what
we'll
else goes in factory floors.
We'll say the middle here, there's a machine that comes down all the way almost to the floor, and you're able to like scooch up underneath of it with you've got guns, you're a gunman, so you've got some guns at the ready in case, but you can scooch back further and you'll be on the other side where you know BBW and Slippy were at least looking. You don't necessarily know where they're at, but you know that they were looking there. This purple worm comes slithering out of that area. You were, we put you in like 2 long hallways separated by rows of machines, and you came around the side of a large one in front of you as you're going down this quote unquote hallway. And it comes around the side of that and begins looking around. You scope to the left and you see Cookie back to this area, bending down and harvesting this veiny like substance. What do you do?
So how do ammo canisters work? Are they like a battery pack, or like you can't like remove a charge from it like you could a bullet? Because it says charges, not like ammo, so I assume it's kind of like a power thing rather than physical individual.
Why do you wouldn't need to remove a charge from it? What's your...
I'm trying to throw something the other direction to distract the purple worm so it doesn't sneak up on Cookie while I'm hiding. Trying to throw it, like, since I'm under the thing and it's not looking at me, I figure if I throw it out the other side, worm might go over there. I could just throw a ration, though. So that works. I've got 5 of those.
An aid roll? You give me Defy Danger Dexterity, Cookie. Cookie is proposing that it be an aid roll, which I like. You aid Cookie in defying danger and getting out of there quick enough, basically, with a distraction.
Yeah.
Give you to both the opportunity. Yeah. So, Ka'arl, give me aid Cookie if you have bonds with Cookie.
I have 1 bond with Cookie, and I rolled a 7, so that's what, 8?
Yes. So you get plus one, but you expose yourself to
danger.
Retribution
Cookie, or cost. I am risking a ration. That's a cost.
True.
That's a 5 from Cookie. And Ka'arl exposes Carl's self to danger, retribution, or cost. Ka'arl, I think you go to throw a ration, but you have 2 rations that are squished together, and you throw 2 rations instead of 1 ration.
Nice hands, feet.
It soars, it skates right over its head and into this back area, and it does look, and it starts to move into that area as if maybe it hadn't caught sight of Cookie. You said you got a 5? A 5, even with the plus 1, it will not help. 1 experience for Cookie. Cookie hears this splorch of ration and quickly gets up and sees the worm and begins attempting to run for hiding, much like Ka'arl is with the gap in the floor, but trips up over herself and her ration pouch goes a-splayed, and all of your rations are splayed out in front of you, Cookie. You're gonna have to spend some time picking up all these rations. Or not your rations, sorry, your ingredient pouch that you were just putting this magma ginger into.
Yeah, pick up the dirty food.
BBW and Slippy, you two don't hear much. There's nothing loud that has occurred yet with these folks, but you are here. You're now standing next to this big server wall, and next to the server wall is this water heater with a crank at the bottom that you know to be this air horn. And you're here for maintenance.
Well, should we turn this bitch on or what? I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've been here.
I say you just turn it on and see what happens. Right.
Make a big noise.
Make a big noise. All right. You reach over and...
Two wants to make the big noise.
My on-again, off-again girlfriend Carissa could make a big noise. If only she was here, she'd be able to draw that worm away from us.
The last time I heard big noise, I blacked out.
You reach
so this
over.
time has been very fortunate for me.
and turn on this horn. It is loud. It blasts through the facility, this wave of sound coming from the ceiling above you. The baby purple worm immediately drops to the ground. You two see and start writhing in pain. The sound is a lot for all of you, and as it probably blasts for about 3 to 4 seconds before it begins to heighten in pitch and fizzle out, with the sense of it has run out of air in that big tank behind it. But it is enough to disorient the lot of you. Slippy, you are standing sort of in guard of the situation, right? The tech isn't necessarily for you, but the defense of your technician is kind of on your docket. You are peering around, and further down the hallway, you see, it's pretty far down the hallway, you see the moving of shapes high up on the wall, coming down the wall as if they've crawled over from the other side.
I'm gonna shoot at them. Those shapes don't look like people shapes, and people don't crawl on the wall.
Certainly.
So here I go with a volley. That is a 7, plus 2, 9. I choose 1. I'll take what I can get. I'll do 1d6 damage.
You do 1d6 damage.
6, boy.
Bam. All right. Yeah.
That's a big Slippy 6.
You fire off your bullet, illuminating what little darkness there was down the hall, and strikes into a baby purple worm having crawled over the side of the hallway. In that brief moment of illumination, I'll say that there really isn't like a hole in the wall near the back of the room over there, so there's no lava light coming in. This really the only light in this room are from the holes in the wall. Yes, you see the bodies of 4 more purple worms. Now that this gunshot has gone off and they're aware of you, they are beginning to crawl down the hallway towards you and BBW. Carl, Cookie. Carl, you can sense these bodies. You can hear them kind of scratching along the ground behind you. You get the sense that there are more of them kind of coming down the hallway behind you. You're in hiding under these machines, but they're still coming down the hallway behind you, as you also see 4 more in front of you coming around that same machine towards Cookie. I guess I won't say just Carl. That is also Cookie's situation. You see 4 more purple worms. It seems as if, you know, the situation at hand is that the air horn might have hatched these remaining eggs. The one that was out when this air horn went off, for what consolation prize it is on the ground and not moving. Oh, and to not remember all of the stuff, in part of your folks' planning, you did each get 1 magma flower distillation balloon as like a little grenade. You know what I mean?
It's probably pretty good against these little guys.
You guys haven't tested it on a purple worm yet, but they said that the flowers repel these things don't go near the purple or these black flowers, and you said let's distill it, so this has been really the plan all along without knowing that it will work. Would be fucking hilarious if we got to the end and it's just like, well, turns out it didn't work. We're just gonna go home now.
It makes them bigger and madder. That sucks. Whoops.
Oopsies.
Magma builds strong bones. I mean, I guess I'll roll out my grenade towards the 4 that are between me and Cookie right now. Over there.
Yeah,
There's
right.
like 4 on each side of me right now, I think. So I'll roll the grenade towards the 4 of them that I can see and not just hear. What would the roll be for that?
I would say that that's probably volley.
5, and it's plus dex. Hold up. 6, 7. That's barely a success. I am going to go with, I have to move to get the shot. Like
Okay.
I've got to stick my tentacles out from under the thing, like get out to get the right bowling angle for Carl to get that grenade right placed between the four. Otherwise, I don't want to waste that grenade.
And Cookie, Carl chucks a grenade. Do you want to wait to see what that happens, or do you want to do a thing? Because I don't even think you really know Carl's under there.
I think if Carl is gonna throw a grenade, I should do my bit as well. And I'm gonna hack and slash this this first worm that was on us.
The one that is laying on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With your pan.
I have a hand axe.
Pandax.
Yeah, it's made of lasers. Oh, that's another 5.
It's made of lasers and bad to hold.
My terrible dice.
So that's just an abject failure. I think you run forward with this hand axe and you trip, causing you to careen even more forward into the rest of this group as this grenade flies out. And
yeah, I was gonna say maybe you shouldn't melee attack the group that I threw a grenade into.
but Cookie didn't know.
I should have been good at that. I have a +2 to strength.
Fair.
But now I'm going to be good at that somewhere else, where I'm more needed. Over here, where the grenade is.
Yeah,
Truly.
Cookie trips forward and is directly, I think, in the middle of this group of purple worms as the grenade connects with Cookie's chest. And it hits Cookie and blows up, and Cookie is covered with this distillation. The worms immediately begin shrieking and writhing around on the ground and kind of hitting their mouth against the earth repeatedly. It seems to work. It seems as if this is extremely overpowering for whatever their senses are. Cookie, it is also overpowering for your senses. I think as a bug that relies on these pheromones, or that relies on pheromones, yeah, you are just instantly overwhelmed. You take 3 points of damage, just sheer unable to process this much sensation. And Cookie is having trouble. Cookie is on her knees in the middle of this. Carl, you see this. The worms are just sort of writhing and smashing. Back to BBW and Slippy. Slippy has shot at one of the worms, and BBW, you have spun around the side of this server to see 4 more purple worms coming up this hall of machines.
Slippy's going to walk up to BBW and he's going to say, hey, I know that we're working on seeing if you can taste and eat and stuff. Can you smell?
Smell.
Okay, great. And then Slippy smashes the balloon above him so that it trickles down on top of him so that the bugs will not go towards him. And then I say, and you just keep on doing your thing. I'm going to take care of these worms probably.
We have established that BBW cannot smell, but does have sensors to be able to process that there are powerful scents in the air, but not really get the feeling of what that smells like. So those sensors are just locked on maxed out, but
probably fine.
Beyond that, it doesn't, I don't think, affect BBW. Slippy, it washes over you, but it isn't much more than a very, very powerful incense. You've smashed it over BBW.
I guess I have to get back to it then. Magic.
Yeah, do you have a maneuver for this, being the engineer?
I do have this.
As your class.
Use machine?
Yeah, I don't know if there is something like work with machines or make a machine do what you want, or
time to hack.
With mending, and what I can do, I could just repair either robot or android or one inanimate object that is mechanical or not magical. That'd be a thing I could do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, you're changing the purpose of it, but you break it, you repair it however you want. Now it does whatever you want it to do. You repaired it.
It doesn't work for the purpose that we want, so we're fixing it so that it does.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely broken, guys. It's like, it's
Yeah,
just
if it ain't
instantly
broke,
do
fix it.
So
If that's what you got to be able to do this, I like it. Let's do it.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna fix this thing and make it do what I want. This machine's now BBW's bitch.
What is the role for that?
There's no role. Just says I instantly do it.
Hold the phone. Hold on.
I did it.
Where?
It's called mending. In my first level
Mending.
operations.
Oh, but don't you have a use machines then?
do?
Operate machines. That's how you cast your spells. So you're running the operation of mending with operate machines. You have to roll plus intelligence, and based on that roll is how well you're.
Rolls a 12. I do it.
Yeah, it's like it's your spell casting.
Got it. It's a 9.
A 9. On a 9, the operation runs, but one of the following happens.
Oh no. Oh,
You
it's right there.
explode, you implode, you implode and then explode.
You void your
Or
bowels.
confetti.
The machine is drained of power. You cannot run this operation again until you do the technical prep work. So you do it. You put this machine to the limit. It takes a few moments, actually. It takes like longer than you want it to. You're sitting down here working with this. I'm actually going to say that this takes like a little bit of time because you're changing the whole purpose of the machine. You are repairing it and you will succeed. It's going to take up all of this machine of mending's power. What did we say the machine of mending was? Oh, I think you have like a little hose in your finger or something. I think that was the
With the
machine
air,
of mending.
yeah.
Yeah. You blast them in the face with air. This is not that. This requires some tools, but you do use that in the process just for the flavor of using that. But this is going to take you some time to mend. While you're doing so, these worms are getting closer and closer. But at about the 30-yard line, they kind of just stop, and as they inch closer, they seem to like writhe and shake a bit and scooch back outside of that little range, 30 foot from BBW, because he just got blasted. And in fact, they actually probably scooch over too, closer to the wall, not the middle wall, but the outside wall, because of the other explosive that has gone off on the other side, explosive water balloon that has gone off on the other side of this wall. So they're kind of getting hemmed in against the outside wall. We're just going to keep hopping back and forth, Carl and Cookie. The worms are all writhing. Cookie, your senses are
Also writhing?
starting to single.
I have no help.
You have 0 health. We'll get to that. Cookie
I knew I should have played medic.
drops to to the ground with a force. Bag of bricks. All these worms are writhing around, and Cookie is still. Carl,
No, I'm not writhing around.
what do you do?
You know,
I want to see if I can rush in while they're all writhing and grab Cookie and get out into the hallway with her. Is that a possibility? And if so, while I grab Cookie, can I grab and drop her grenade on the floor behind us?
Oh no, I slipped and I dropped it on your face. Oh no.
Yes. So you will run out and pull Cookie back into your little hidey hole, basically, and throw
Sure.
Cookie's grenade while you're doing it, just to set up with some of the environment we have under the wall and out into the other hallway. Let's see. Defy danger. Yeah, defy danger strength. You're gonna get Cookie out of here quickly before these worms are. At least you think before these worms are coming back into being attacking
That is
again.
A 7.
A 7. I think that I'm just gonna expose you to a whip of a worm tail as you pass by trying to get Cookie. 2 points of damage, but don't just if you have armor. Great.
Yeah, I've got 3 armor.
Great. It just whips across your back. It makes you stumble a bit, but you grab Cookie and you're able to pull her away. They're still writhing, but as you get Cookie to the wall, the one furthest away is like beginning to get its senses and back up away to that sort of 30-foot mark. The others on this side of the other wall, you two see BBW and Slippy. begin backing up back further into the area. I'm trying to look for... I'm pretty sure this just happens. So... Cookie... Oh, just roll. Roll 2d6 plus nothing. Death doesn't care about how cool you are, is what this says. I think Death should care about how cool Cookie is.
Everybody should care about Cookie and how cool she is.
Oh, very cool.
You got a 10. First, that's a great one to get a 10 on. Cookie, as this grenade hits your face, your vision doubles and you feel a shock run through, starting at your face, but like back to the back of your head. And it goes black. You see a light appear and it rushes you. The only thing inside of this light you see is a set of huge clean steel gates, behind them a void of nothing, just blackness. They begin to open and your vision kind of comes in almost from the sides of your vision first and kind of sandwiches in the middle and unblurs, and you see Carl sort of above you. You guys are in kind of a tight space next to you, shaking you and kind of tapping you in the face. You wake up with 1 health. You
Poking you
are
at 8 times speed.
physically exhausted. You, for strength and constitution, whatever those boxes are, shaky, I think, and weak, maybe. You get -1 to strength and constitution checks until you rest. And I'll also say actually dexterity, the physical set, until you rest. But you are up or awake.
What happened?
Well, we both made a move at the same time, and they were very different moves.
Oh.
Good news is you're alive.
That is good news. Where are the worms?
Currently writhing on the floor in agony, so
Oh.
don't count your blessings.
Yeah. Well,
The
that's,
worms got hit by a grenade, so that's the good news.
All right. Any word from the other 2?
Well, do you consider hearing the loud-ass horn word? Because that's pretty much what I've got at this point.
So we should make our way towards the awful sounds.
Yeah, that unfortunately seems like the most logical decision. I'll
All
take
right.
lead on that.
I appreciate that. I'm going to
Get the pokey stick and the life.
try and bleed quietly.
The 2 of you roll out to the other side of this machine wall and leave those purple worms to writhe and back up. On this side of the wall to your left, you see down further into the factory, I would say about 50 feet to the outside wall on the other side of this, but there are 4 more purple worms that are backing up and staying sort of about 30 feet in between you and that back wall, away from Cookie now, have backed up even further. And to the right, you see a big, lots of machines in here, but a big machine wall, and sandwiched between that machine wall, which is now standing up. And the wall is a big water tank that you see BBW working on with his machines. And you see Cookie with guns prepped and aiming down the hallway. Or sorry, Slippy with guns prepped and aiming down the hallway. Do you continue your fire at the worms?
The worms that are around us, are those also reacting to the horn?
So yeah, the horn had gone silent as it had run out of the air. You guys are putting in a new air tank basically. Once you do all this work, you have that air tank with you. BBW does. The worms, yeah, around you guys are even further away now. They're about 80 feet from you as they were coming up the hallway. Were scared 30 feet back by your first use of the oil over BBW, and then another 30 feet back from Carl and Cookie coming to your side of the wall. So you see these 2 kind of crawl out from under the wall. They're staying pretty far back as Cookie and Carl join your crew. That isn't too much longer before BBW has switched the hose for this normal air tank into a hose that can diffuse this oil that can diffuse oil in general. So they could use it as just like a nice orange diffuser if they wanted to hook up a separate tank or whatnot, rose hip diffuser. But for now, it is attached to the tank that you brought in, which is considerably smaller than the water heater tank, right? It's like, the size of an oxygen tank. I think you guys had actually taken an oxygen tank and filled it with this stuff. So it's a bit small, but BBW hooks it up to this machine and pulls the lever. It is silent, but you hear it was silent comparatively to the loud horn. You hear a slight hiss from this tank, and the worms at the end of the hallway take about 30 seconds to begin responding, but once they do, they go back into that state of like it was all over them and all around them, and they begin like writhing and slamming their heads, and eventually they just stop moving at the end of the hallway. And I think in the last episode that Cookie had also taught the workers how to make this bit, or given them a recipe or something like that. So they know how to make it, and their horn can do it now. So they can share this info with everyone else. You folks are still in the lower portion of this factory. What do you do?
Dan, you've done it.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much a job well done right there, at least for the most part. Now let's get some lemon for this.
Lemon?
Yep, I like a lemon diffusal. I come from a very citrus heavy planet.
Citrus.
I prefer sea salt.
Citrus heavy atmosphere. Well, I guess let's go look for our friends, huh? I'll discern some realities.
I still don't understand you.
I got an 8 for discern realities. What here is useful or valuable to me?
Friendship.
Slippy, you're looking around to see what you can loot in this moment. You find a workstation nearby where you guys are. You see this little lever on the side next to a little table. Under this table and attached to the floor, up under the machine wall, you see a little safety deposit box.
I'll get in there.
It is. It's locked.
For now. I think I can roll to lockpick. Let's see, do I have a lockpick?
Just point me at it. I'll use Ben Bar's lift gates to just break it open.
I'm missing a foot.
Do you want me to carry you?
Would you?
I mean, I could try. I'm more of the move around type than the pickup type, but I could definitely try it. I avoid being underneath the heavy thing, that type of thing.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just be behind you. And I'm gonna wrap myself around you like a backpack.
Is this Jack and Daxter? Nope. Wait. Nope. Hold on. The other one. Ratchet Clank.
Close.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got you.
It is very heavy. I think while BBW is on your back, you'll have that -2 dexterity, -1.
That's fine.
But easy to maneuver, and you have some back protection. Is there a roll to pick a lock for you, or do you just do it?
I don't have a lock pick unless it's in my adventuring gear, but I do have a roll to do a lock pick.
Oh, but you don't have a lock pick. You have a roll to lock pick.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Let me see real quick.
And I've used up my tricks of the trade for this adventure, so I don't have any more things in my bag of tricks.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, then you've got a locked box and no lock pick, but a way to lock pick. Carl, do you want to try to bust this bad boy open before you guys leave?
I'll give it a shot. I'm just going to try to rip the lid straight off it.
Love it.
Maybe can you break my box?
4.
Oh yeah.
4. Ooh.
It's been a long day, all right?
I understand.
You attempt...
As he's trying to open it, an extra tentacle reaches in and tries to add some leverage, but it's not working.
And and in the end, it's probably because Carl comes up saying that it's because it's under this wall, it's attached to the floor so well, almost like it was built into this building. It wasn't. You can see the weld around it, but it just is not coming up off of the floor, and unable to get a grip on it. Carl is unable as well.
Tentacle in it.
BBW is attached to Slippy.
I need to go back and gather all of my ingredients Those are still over on the floor down the hall in the other room. So I'd like to make my way down and do that then.
What did you like fall over or something?
I died briefly. I think.
That's not good.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Did you go to heaven or hell?
I really don't know. I think I saw some big doors.
Oh, okay. So that's definitely heaven then. There are no doors in hell.
No doors in
No
hell.
privacy.
None at all.
How many ingredients did you drop?
Did I drop all of them? Okay. Well, let's have a look.
Why don't you just name them off as you pick them up?
Individual or like different kinds?
How many common, how many gourmet?
5 common, 3 gourmet.
Yeah, just give me a low stakes forage roll.
To reforage.
Well, I didn't die.
I didn't fall on the floor like an idiot.
And tackle a grenade.
That's a 4 for a total of 6.
When you're picking your ingredients up off the floor, you find all except 2 patches of the rust moss you had collected. It actually looks like they fell into the hole of lava. While you're over here collecting them, you also notice that there's only the 1 dead purple worm. The other 4 are missing entirely.
Hey, is somebody else doing some looting in here?
No, I'm mostly just looting what's left of my life.
Self-looting. Always a good time.
Yeah.
I do the Space Mia Conderosa thing where I self-unloot. Think about that.
Ooh. I'll think about that in a moment, but I also think we might have some. We might still have some live worms down here. I distinctly remember there being 4 when I died.
I've got a balloon on my back still, or like a guy with a balloon. Sorry.
Might want to bring that guy in here.
He's on my back. He's already in here.
For safety's sake.
Yeah.
How far does the horn's effect go? Like how far does this new
whole planet? We did a great job.
Yeah, assumed whole planet.
Okay.
Since we're attempting to take out the big ones, which are ways away.
Just keep
hopefully far.
What's up?
If you want to learn about where these worms went, give me a discern realities.
Yeah, okay. 8.
Ask one.
Where do worms go?
I guess what happened here recently is probably the closest to where the worms go.
In your searching for the patches of rust moss and finding a couple of them having dropped into the lava, you see one of the bodies of the purple worms floating lightly under the surface as if it had died going in, getting this sense that they left through this hole of magma. But if your machine does what it should do, it shouldn't really matter that they're out there.
Okay.
Why did you say it like that, narrator? It makes me feel like the machine doesn't do the thing that it's supposed to do.
Machines break.
Roll for it.
Roll to see if your machine does what it does.
I really don't want to. I've rolled real bad. One more failure from leveling up.
Roll over to see if your machine breaks.
The 4 of you, having collected Cookie's ingredients, meet back up at the front of this warehouse room. No more eggs. I'll even go as far as to say as Cookie peeked back around that wall that was hiding the eggs just to check. There are none left. No eggs to hatch. The purple worms seemingly having escaped into the magma. You tug the rope. I think that the ship just hovered, right? You set the ship to hover, and the person threw his hands up and sat in the seat just in case it started to lilt as it did the first time, and just stayed there. You tug the rope, and the remaining folks pull you back up and into the ship. As they pull you back up into the ship, the factory workers, Charlie, I think I named her, comes forward and says, "So, were you guys able to get the air horn changed to a diffuser? So switch that over to oil diffuser mode or whatever?"
Yeah, we turned your air horn into an air horn.
Oh.
Fully functional.
Fully functional. Okay. And I think that we have a recipe for this, how to do it. Cookie at least has taught us the process, so we will be able to do this. Do you mind if, for at least the meantime, we travel back with you towards the station to the station, not towards it. We don't want to get off before the station, but to the station for until our, factory is restored.
Oh yeah, for sure. Could you just like throw us a little bit of space gas money?
Gas money.
Because this was a impromptu mission, so like we had to really get up and go. You know what I mean? And we don't want to have to pay those like out of station prices. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to pick up a little bit to get back home.
The robot comes online and says, "You can siphon the gas from our ship."
Do you still have how's the locator on that? Can you scan me that locator really quick? What's that ship looking like? Is the locator still active?
Yes, I can see the ship parked neatly on the other side of the lake.
Oh hell yeah. Well, then I guess could you just help us do that instead of giving us gas money? Workers
can. This is the robot talking.
Oh, those are the guys that want the ride back.
No, they all want to. You're already going back to the station. They all just want to ride with you back to the station. The back Atmos people want to ride with you to the station, and the factory workers do as well. But the back Atmos
that's a heavy
robot is saying that you can siphon the gas from their ship because they're not flying it back. They're just going to get a salvage sent out. And
we also need the magma for the actual station. Remember, everybody, because the station only has access to 60%.
Remember.
So yeah, we need to at least get 60% of that magma so that we can power 60% of the station.
Yeah, that's kind of a key factor.
But now we have the people whose job it is to do that. So let's go make them do that, and then we can. Let's go have them do that, and then we'll go back home.
Yeah, we can't go home without the magma. So
it's imperative.
Works back on for a week. How long does it take to get the magma?
Yeah. What's the magma harvesting business like?
They have a shipment prepared.
I thought they did.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, let's hitch it to the space tractor or whatever, and off we go.
They've got to load it up with space dollies.
Space forklift.
No one here is space forklift certified.
You're right.
All of those guys died in the attack.
You folks collect the shipment. It might have toppled over. It's in the very front of this warehouse area where you guys had lowered down. I'll say that when you were, you raised back up into the ship and they were like, oh yeah, you remembered we got to grab the stuff. So you lowered back down and you barrel by barrel brought it up the rope. There's no real way of.
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay, the team works together. Everyone's fine. You don't do it. Slippy's at the top, giving, pointing and saying where things should go.
I'm being BBW's legs.
Yep. Yeah. Either way, the you and the workers and the robot, for what he is worth, not BBW, but the other one, who is basically, injured to the point of uselessness, but helping here and there, gets the shipment up into the back of your spaceship, and you return.
You will have to pull the rope harder, human.
And you return to space. The trip back to the back Atmos station is a little bit slower, as you guys are not foot on the gas pedal. It takes the amount of time, whatever that is. We've said it so many times at this point, but I don't remember. It takes as much time as it should. The trip back is
normal and uneventful.
Is everyone leveling?
I am level 2. Tombleson S level 2 Slippy.
Almost level 3.
Almost level 3 for Carl.
So how much XP do we gain during that? What just happened?
Boy, that's a hard question.
Totally personal. It's
okay. I don't think that you said I earned any though, so I think I'm good.
Yeah. How much experience do you have? I
just have 6.
Not keeping track.
Well, it sounds like you're
track.
Because it's 1 plus your plus 7. How much?
I believe it's 7.
1 plus 7, so you need 8 to level up. So if you just in your
no way. Cannot believe it. Fail 2 more rolls. You got to do it.
Huh?
You got it.
So if in your time on the station, you're able to garner yourself a couple points of experience by either failing rolls or, in fact, because unless something, changes, I don't think we'll be taking off from the station. So you'll also have like end of session experience to tally into that, and you'll be able to level up before we take off on the mission. So if you can garner some of that experience in this or in end of the session questions, you will be able to do just that and level up as well. You
Do some end of session rolls that you fail.
Yeah, you or Cookie, because Cookie has one experience to go to level up as well. So
I've only got 3. There's time to suck.
And you've only got 3. Okay, yeah. So it's possible, and end of session questions could again get a lot of you somewhere. You folks
Time to suck.
Return to the station after a trek through space, an uneventful trek through space, and your ship returns into the docking bay of the Delta station. By the time you're back, the human has woken up, and you folks have recounted your tale. The robot is back to working condition, not repaired, but is awake. And, you folks are having camaraderie conversations by the time you're pulling back into the docking bay of the Delta.
As we're pulling back in, Slippy goes, "Yeah, guys, we're some pretty big deal type adventurers, I'm glad we had the chance to, be the ones that got to save you because, not every adventurer has a direct line to the captain." And then Slippy calls the captain and he says, "Here, tell the captain how good we did."
I've heard that you are the captain of the ship. I'm Charlie. I don't know. I'm a young girl, and they wanted me to just tell you how good they did. It was good. I don't know.
Well, we'll see you soon, Captain, about that reward. Love you, babe.
And you hang up. The unload is easy. The workers from the docking bay come out and help unload the barrels of magma from your ship and begin trucking them off. The workers are helped by other paramedics come out and cart off the Delta workers as well as the industrial workers. Actually, everyone. Not even if you don't need it, they cart you off to just check you out because everyone's looks like they've sustained either major damages or burns or
mental scarring.
Yeah. So everyone gets taken off to the med bay, and it's a few days before you're all up and at 'em again. We'll say that Cookie is still the most sort of sore and has difficulty coping with a little bit of it. All of that for the time in which you're on the ship, Cookie, will, as you are healed up physically, will kind of coalesce into a wisdom negative. You heal from the physical ones, but are wisdom affected for while we're here. Like you're just mentally exhausted from that death.
Your synapses are fried.
Dying's hard.
I think. Let me see what that one is called, if the intelligence one makes more sense. Confused, yeah. Things are just you're just having trouble processing the fact that you have died. But everyone is healed up, and as you're discharging a few days later, you're all called into the HQ, the Bridge Command Center, and sat down for a debriefing with Captain Rake. Captain Rake says, "Well, seems like you brought everyone back safe, and you grabbed the oil barrels. That is an impressive mission."
Thank you. Also, I am sorry that I said I loved you. I shouldn't have said that. Carissa would be very upset. I just wanted to make that very clear, Captain.
I won't mention it to her if I ever meet her. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. The workers said that you folks behaved rather valiantly. The use of their air horn as a diffuser, top notch, I have to say. Going out for a simple rescue mission and rescuing everyone left alive, seeming like, from the word of the workers, and getting the job done as well is rather commendable.
Certainly everyone left alive now.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
and all of that on the emergency pay rate. Isn't that wild?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Speaking of rate, he hands each of you 50 credits.
Ooh, hello.
And says that as a thank you from the workers, they have all donated enough to get you guys these, and he hands you 2 ship tokens as well.
Nice.
That is for completing, 2 jobs as well as saving the lives of all the people there. That's a hefty sum of reward for a mission. I'm glad that all of you were able to survive.
It was worth it, captains.
Could say that again.
Well, see you later.
All right.
You have a good day, Captain.
As you folks go to leave, the captain asks, he says, Cookie, would you mind holding back just a moment? I have a matter that might be of some interest to you.
Slippy's gonna do friendship cant to Cookie and say, I'll keep an eye out.
I'm sorry, I was not really paying attention. What's going on, Captain?
I just wanted to have a word with you.
Ah,
Very alpha
Well-
of you, Cookie. Good job.
all right.
Quick, now call him the wrong name.
Make him repeat himself a bunch of times, too.
Oh my god.
I am going to try and stealth check my way back in within earshot.
Okay.
It's an 11.
The rest of your team
Oh, I've got to go feed my fern. Excuse me, everyone.
and Slippy cuts into the shadows of the bridge and command center as you folks walk out the door. Cookie, Captain Rake calls you over to him to his side of the big command HQ table.
I come around the table. Sure. All right. Here I am around the table.
He's poring over many different folders and documents spread out across the table. He seems to be focused on these as he speaks to you. Cookie, what is your relationship like with the Invasive Species Committee? Picks up a folder and begins leafing through the papers within.
Oh, okay. I should discern some realities. As far as being confused goes, is that a -1 to my stat or a -1 modifier to my rolls?
Your modifier would decrease by 1 total.
Got it. Hey, 10. Cool. Quickly gather some information about what's going on here. What is not as it appears to be?
You watch the captain for a brief moment and you get a sense that he's only putting on a show. He seems to be mindlessly switching between the folders and the files on his desk. His voice is also much lower than it usually is as he speaks to you.
Did you just call me an invasive species?
What here is useful and valuable to me?
Slippy's in the corner and he's ready. He's got his phone in one hand and he's ready to give you information using sign language from behind the captain's back.
As you've made your way over to the captain now, you begin to get a better sense of the files spread out across his desk. While they seem mostly random, they all actually have something to do with an incoming shipment of some kind. Travel manifests, data logs, things like that. He picks up a specific one and opens it up, revealing a single form inside.
This piece of paper is from the back Atmos star system galactic orbiter. From the capital, it has like the mark of the capital city ship upon the top of it. And it is from the home offices of the Invasive Species Committee, stating that several invasive species have been reported to be operating on this station, and that they are sending out an inquisitor to investigate.
Does it also say that they're feeding 60% of their power to the...
No, of course it does not.
Seems like an invasive species.
Yes, they are sending an
could be.
inquisitor out. And it even says that their name is Jeremy Figgins, Inquisitor for the
Oh
Invasive
no, we're
Species Committee.
fucked.
Jeremy Figgins.
Jeremy Figgins is like a Giga Chad name. Oh no.
How is this useful and valuable to me? Is this just like the heads up? The
Jeremy Figgins is coming.
Jeremy Figgins is coming?
Yes.
Because that feels like it sort of feels like a what should I be on the lookout for? But all right, Jeremy
Be on the
Figgins.
lookout of Jeremy Figgins.
We're
If you
gonna
meet someone with that name,
run.
know
It's
they're
already
this
too
person.
late. Cool.
Call him Germ for
Space-
short.
Beg for
Google him.
forgiveness.
What is about to happen?
The captain slowly pulls out a gun.
I'm space Googling Jeremy Figgins right now.
So I still haven't responded to the first thing he said.
Captain Rake flips the form over slowly, revealing a travel manifest on the other side, detailing a ship's arrival tomorrow, directly from the back Atmos Star System Galactic Orbiter. Nothing is about to happen specifically, but it seems that Jeremy is coming tomorrow.
Captain Rake, I understand the rationale behind the Invasive Species Protection Act. However, I find a society which has such lofty goals and morals and structures, tries to make profit through unity. I find that sort of behavior a little bit hypocritical. Nothing I can do to stop it one way or the other, but I do find it hypocritical. Are you, real quick though, are you calling me an invasive species, Captain?
Bitch.
I
Slippy is
make,
sign language go for going, oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm going, oh.
I would make no claims to such. I find your work very, very valuable to our station. Just in the short time you've been here, you've already saved the lives of several crew members and successfully completed both of the tasks we've set before you. I certainly would not agree, and his voice drops as he says that, with the Invasive Species Committee's sort of decrees on who is allowed and not allowed to live in our galaxy. But, as you said, there's not much that we can do about it. If they have the stamp of approval from the Home Office, then they have the stamp of approval from the Home Office. I was just curious, as, don't know if you've had a run-in with them directly, but if they start showing up here on the ship, I might be a little concerned. Just curious.
Kind of their whole deal.
If, how you thought if they, happen to show up here. Might want to be on your toes.
Are they the kind of enforcement agents to abduct you from your quarters at night? What kind of, like, are we, am I going to wake up with a bag on my head? Like, what's
Worse,
the sort of
2 bags.
timbre of these? I am a recent arrival
What level
to
of
the
alert?
space station. Like, should I hide under a rock?
Well,
Are they just big space racists?
That's probably an
the
admission
jam?
of guilt.
So I've heard stories. We've never had an investigation here on the station before, but we have heard stories. I have heard stories. It depends on the Inquisitor that we get. Some are brutal and rash and violent racists. Some are just here to do their quote-unquote job, he whispers.
I'm only a little racist.
Theoretically, he's here to ask questions. The invasive species is, for the malcontent species. He speaks up a little bit as he says that. So there is, if you get questions, as long as you're on your best behavior, they'll have nothing to pin on you, right?
Just don't try to do something silly like, I don't know, put eggs in the captain's food or something.
That was the other captain.
Yeah,
Wasn't
but
busy
they
hiding.
still might talk to Jeremy.
I hope they don't
It's
talk
true.
to Jeremy.
They certainly might. Thank you, Captain, for your heads up. And I bounce.
I also bounce stealthily.
Stealthily, Slippy slips out behind or in front of Cookie. Before Cookie gets to the door, Slippy slips around the door frame and out into the hall.
No, it's behind, and then I do just do like a tap.
And the captain, as Cookie walks away, the captain says, "Just want you to know that you're valued here, Cookie." And Cookie heads off. Slippy close behind.
I never expected the Space Inquisition.
So we have a moment to first. We can either start with like
You guys each, so you guys spend time on the station and do like little segments. We can either do the segments bit first or the ship bits first. If you guys want to do ship shop.
Didn't he come in tomorrow?
By ship bits, I meant your own ship. You guys earned some ship credits. I don't know if you want to spend those or save those.
And how much money is it to buy a ship credit again?
50, I think, for
50
one.
gold, yep. So you each got enough gold to buy another ship credit if you want, or you can buy some stuff for yourselves.
Well, what have we felt like we've wanted? What has the ship not provided that we could have used?
We haven't gotten into a ton of ship encounters thus far, so I don't have a great basis for what we're lacking in that department. We tend to like go somewhere and then be there for a couple sessions, and so the travel itself takes up less of the significance.
Yes.
Unless we were to get lost at Space Sea.
Well, we don't want to get lost in Space Sea.
I just don't know what we're missing because we haven't really had much chance for things to go super wrong.
A space compass is what we need, it sounds like. Space North Star. Is there anything that might help us out with Jeremy?
I think that depends on what we're trying to do with him.
We need to brew. We need to turn a horn on the station into a diffuser, and then we need to find a smell that Jeremy doesn't like.
Before we do anything else, does Cookie want to explain to everyone what just happened?
Because if you don't, then Slippy will.
All right. So Cookie's going to gather everyone in the mess hall of the ship. Because I figure we look at ship store stuff in the ship and we think about what's in the ship. And I say, well, before we get to the ship shop portion of our conversation, Slippy has some stuff to tell you, and then I probably have some minor corrections to make. So, Slippy, you have the floor.
Oh, Slippy. Don't tell me.
Let's hear about this
What have
from
you done?
Slippy's point of view.
Yeah,
All right, so I was told through sign language that a guy named Jeremy Piven is coming tomorrow, and Jeremy's gonna have some questions probably for Cookie, and we need to all have our story straight so that we can back up Cookie. Cookie's not an invasive species. Cookie is our friend.
Will he be bringing an entourage?
Could Cookie be both?
Friend and an invasive species? No, cannot be both.
Not be both. Okay, noted.
That wouldn't fit the definition, probably. Of not being an invasive species. That probably wouldn't fit the definition.
I completely agree. I do bear some resemblance to a couple of the invasive species on the register. And so there will almost certainly be attentions focused on me during the time that they are aboard our ship. So if you have any questions for me, I suppose now would be the time.
Hi, yeah, Slippy right here. I have a question. You're not right.
Not that I know of, no.
Perfect. That's all I needed.
As long as that is confirmed, I think we're good. Do we know anything else about this Jeremy?
I space Googled him. Let me actually on the certain realities. Wait, didn't we have somebody? Didn't we have somebody who went to the library as one of their actions and learned the history of?
Yeah, that was me.
Why don't you
learned government because?
Why don't you do this?
I can spout lore on the invasive species committee, but I doubt I know this specific representative just from looking in the library.
Yeah, I mean,
probably not that famous.
Spout lore encompasses space Google.
If Carl is doing this, then yes, you have a +1 from his research in the library.
Good. That cancels out my -1 from being a very dumb octopus. That is an 8. Tell me something interesting. It's on me to make it useful.
I would say that you didn't actually get this from your readings. As you begin thinking about this, you have the +1, that you had a little extra well of knowledge. This may have just not come from that. Where I think that this comes from is you remember when your species was being, for lack of a better word, assimilated into this, cosmic empire. There was a moment where there probably were some representatives from a nearby station that were there, and you heard this word tossed around, invasive species. And you heard it described as like species with a sort of malintent towards the Empire's designs and sort of aspirations as a whole. You know that there was a brief moment, as you can probably now assume with almost every new species brought in, that there's a brief moment of a toss-up of like, will they be invasive species or won't they, based off just of what they know. Your species skated that by. They don't find that you have malintent towards the Empire, so you weren't labeled an invasive species. I think that you might have heard a word tossed around for a species similar to cookies. Sort of, I'll say there's probably like a racial bug alien word out there that you heard tossed around much as their most recent invasive species, and descriptors of that race are pretty similar to what was described, or like what you know of Cookie. So I guess it is immediately useful.
I might recommend laying low. That overall, I mean, from what I've gathered, they don't like anything that's a threat to their empire, which means basically conform or die. And I wouldn't say that either of us are the most conformist people. So, lie a lot if talked to, and try maybe just not to get talked to. Might be the best bet. Or we find out where he's eating and we pre-slip some eggs into them before he even lands. Just a thought.
Guys,
I'm
don't
not
worry.
opposed to these plans.
It could be a surprise party. We'll bake him a cake.
It could sure be a surprise.
This is what I was thinking. I was thinking that me and BBW, I was thinking that we plan a surprise welcome for this Inquisitor, because this guy, he seems like the type of guy who loves, being put on a pedestal and shown that he's so high and mighty. So I think we just show him a good time while simultaneously we use our team walkie-talkies, and I can let you two know where he is at, so that he doesn't come and ask any questions.
Did we actually buy the walkie-talkies?
Yeah, I bought the walkie-talkies. Yep.
What about this then? I look the closest to an invasive species, so I should probably lay low entirely.
The lowest.
The lowest. I also have a lot of research to do if I'm to get these.
Yeah, you need to go and hang out with the old lady.
I've got to go and hide in the tunnels and research my mushrooms. But I can also crank out some of these eggs for you to use in your surprise party plan, because that's the best plan I've ever heard.
Yeah, let's prove you're not an invasive species.
Mm-hmm.
Invade this
man. Yeah, let's invade his brain.
We'll invade him right back. He'll expose all his secrets.
I do have a poison that could make him think the next person that they see is a trusted ally. But we could just do this.
I mean, there's no reason not to do both, especially since
he'll treat the next person he sees as a trusted ally until his eventual death in D4 days.
Trigger every plan in the book.
Give him the potion and tell him to eat the eggs. Hey, buddy, eat this.
Hey, you trust me, right? Yeah, of course. Eat these eggs. Okay, great.
Eat my eggs.
I love it. I love every moment of it. Then I think I'll be in your care.
All right, BBW. We need to make sure, number one, that he doesn't know that we knew he was coming. So we've got to pretend to be the standing surprise welcoming committee.
So we have to be surprised?
We have to be surprised, but also completely in control. Completely in control, because we always prepare for surprises.
Of course.
But I'll leave the nitty gritty to you, because you're kind of an expert at this whole thing.
Indeed. Well, it would be very convenient for there to be a party being thrown already there while he's coming, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
So
a preset throne.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
We pretend to be surprised at the surprise party.
Gabe has pointed out that this might be a carouse roll, our very first carouse roll. We're trying to throw a welcome party, right? For this guy?
Oh, yeah.
So,
but make it seem like we don't know that he's coming.
Yeah, make it a welcome party for someone else.
No, just for it's a generic party that is ready anytime we have a special guest that arrives. We are the standing surprise welcoming.
It's like the restaurant. Everyone's just ready to sing happy birthday whenever someone comes in.
It's exactly right.
Candles set aside.
Like there's a guy who's standing right above the candle with the lighter lit. He's ready to go as soon as he needs it.
So
that's what I want them to imagine us as.
The thought is when you return triumphant and throw a big party, spend 100 coins and roll +1 for every extra 100 coins spent. This doesn't feel like it.
It's not a big party. It's a little party.
A little party.
Right, little party.
Neutral party.
Fuck it. Just to give this a roll, I'll call it 30 coins to just generally, or 30 credits to just get all of the shit for your normal welcome party. If you spend 30 more, you'll get a +1.
I'll put 30 in.
You'll put 30 in? Great.
I'll put 30 in.
Let's do it. I'll put 30 in.
Got +2.
Yep.
And then I think we should have Party Robot roll it, and then I'll roll isn't there an aid roll?
There is an aid roll. Yeah, Party Robot has +2 for spending 30 on the traditional one. Slippy spent 30 and Cookie spent 30, so overall Party Robot has +2. And then Slippy is going to aid. Slippy, how do you aid this? How do you aid in setting up for the party?
Slippy is going to he's going to go around the ship and he's going to find people who don't look like they have much going on, and he's going to ask them to be at the docks tomorrow all day. Got to be ready. We might be having a special guest or maybe not arrive to the ship, and we need to be ready to welcome them or not welcome them
But I
if
have
they're
to
not
work
coming.
tomorrow.
What time?
I don't know. 8 a.m., man.
Well, whatever you get off, can you come to the dock?
I'd love to.
Hell yeah. We'll have cake, probably. Unless it's already happened.
Okay. Oh, yeah, give me your aid roll.
And then I do that a bunch of times.
Sure.
I get a charisma, which is +1. That makes it a 9.
Aid roll is bond. Roll +.
Oh, then it is the same, and it's 8 or a 9. It's the same. It's a 9.
A 9.
Either way, it's +1.
Expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
No, I don't want to go to your party. Smack.
I don't know that there is a retribution here. Maybe. We'll see. BBW, you get +3 to your carouse roll. Give me that carouse roll as this ship comes in for a landing. You have, I'll say there's probably like 6 just like random strangers, like they see Slippy and they're like, hey, what are we doing here?
Get ready, he's coming.
Okay.
Coming.
Yeah, give me your carouse roll for a welcome party.
You said I have +3?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9.
That's pretty good.
For carouse, on a 7 to 9, choose 1. Befriend a useful NPC, hear rumors of an opportunity, gain useful information. You are not entangled, ensorcelled, or tricked.
So he's either our friend or he can't trick us.
Well, you're not tricked at the party.
You could be entangled in booze. Get a hangover, make a friend.
We're gonna.
So either befriend, you hear rumors of an opportunity, you get useful information, or you're tricked at the party.
Or we can't be tricked at the party.
Yeah, I can be tricked at the party.
Oh yeah, or you're not tricked at the party.
I'll befriend the useful NPC.
Yes.
There's no way this fails.
Yes.
There's no way this
We've already succeeded. What do you mean?
The welcome party goes off without a hitch. However, the ship lands and you folks recognize the ship almost immediately. It is, in fact, the same ship that picked up you folks and all of the other recruits to come out here the first time. And getting off of the ship are 10 new recruits.
They're getting a much better welcome than we did.
Yeah, definitely. And you give them a welcome party. They are appreciative.
They come out and we go, oh! And I go, no, not these guys, not these guys.
Oh.
The party goes off without a hitch. It is a fine time. People are breaking the ice. What you folks notice is that during this party, No one is introduced as Jeremy Pivens, but at some point throughout the party, there is a person who is standing off a little isolated to one side of the party, and BBW approaches him at some point with offered of some punch and a slice of cake for the new
Is it your
folks.
birthday?
And this conversation is a little cold, BBW. Throughout the whole time that you're conversing with this person, it is they're focused elsewhere. But after eating this cake and enjoying their punch, they look around and they say, I think I might enjoy my time here. It was great meeting you, Robot. My name is Bartholomew. And the way that he pauses, you immediately know that he's making up a name. And he says, I do hope that I get to see you around sometime. And he strolls off. He is a tall human, but he wears like all black, like black duster, black leathers. He looks very much like a cop.
Tall, tan, and handsome.
Sure. This one can be. He's tall, tan, and handsome. He's got a beautiful haircut, and he's wearing a pair of aviator sunglasses that reflect everything he sees.
Oh my God, it's Tom Cruise.
See you next time, Bartholomew.
Yeah, see, I didn't catch your name, friend, he says and turns around.
I'm not sure how you can catch a name, but you can catch this. I'm gonna toss him another slice of cake.
Nuts.
Catch these nuts, bro.
He loves that joke. You're very good.
What are you throwing at him?
It's like another bead necklace.
Another bead necklace. Give me
one for the road.
Give me a volley roll.
Shoot him with it.
Volley. Let me take a little gander.
Would you like to hear a joke? These nuts. Haha.
Haha.
That's a 6, unfortunately.
That's why I had you give the roll so you can get 1 experience for failing the volley. You chuck this bead necklace just clean across the party, and it breaks one of the newcomers' glass of punch in his hand.
Oh.
But the rest of the party goes on without a hitch, except for the one bead necklace thrown across. This newcomer that you shatter his glass, he glares at you, BBW, and he puts his fingers up to his eyes, and he points him at you, and then he taps his hand on his wrist like he's saying something. But eventually he just gets so lost in all the trying to motion at you that the story is lost and you don't really know what he's telling you. But he's got his eyes on you.
I'm gonna look on our end.
And the rest of the party is fine. The ship has some newcomers and they're split off into crews of 5. This Bartholomew character on a team, I guess, of his own. There's not really much, other info about him yet, but it's Bartholomew. Obviously, Jeremy Pivens who we're after. Probably Jeremy Pivens who we're after.
Gotta figure out.
The big bit of this was introducing Jeremy Pivens onto the station, but also if you guys murder him at the welcome party, then Jeremy Pivens' timeline is over. So just in case.
I would like to use a discern realities roll to suss out the crowd of these newcomers. I got a 7. And so my one question is, what here is useful or valuable to me?
There is one newcomer. He seems soft to Slippy. Watching this whole party, Slippy was looking for, maybe new allies, trying to assess like the abilities of folks. But one person Slippy gets his eyes on is a younger kid with he's got blue skin and a wide cat-like face. And he is trucking along a couple bags. They're wheelie suitcases. And that stands out on its own as like no one here really has a luggage, You guys are like in the army. You guys have trunks and shit. And when you got here, maybe you had bags. But like I would say wheelie suitcases are quite a bit more rare. And this kid just seems real soft.
So he looks like a chump and he has luggage.
Yeah, you get the sense that
Take his lunch money.
He's carrying some shit in there. An easy mark, this kid.
So Slippy is going to come up to him and Slippy is going to say, hello, I am Sergeant Jameson here on the ship. It's nice to meet you. I see you're struggling with a little bit of your luggage. Could I assist you in getting that to your room?
Oh, finally. I was informed there would be servants here to carry all my luggage, and I have not seen a single one since I have stepped onto this lousy ship.
Well, I'm not a servant, but I could do that for you for sure. Be a pleasure.
Service me, and he points at his bags.
Okay, and Slippy takes them like around the first corner and then immediately starts going through them.
As he comes around the corner, he sees you going through his bags. Stop! This instant, thief! Get your rotten hands out of my satchels!
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't carried these types of suitcases ever before, and I fell. I slipped all over, and I got just stuff everywhere. I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm not a servant.
You in here? Are you putting it back as is? Yeah. In here,
see him come around the corner. I'm like, instead of doing this, I'm doing this.
Mostly, it's fineries that you were pulling out, like finer materialed clothings, but what sandwiched in between them in the middle of the suitcase was a bag of jewelry and chains that he brought with him. Yeah, he's like, put that back, you scoundrel.
Well, yeah, anyway, I'll get these to your room. I apologize for that.
No, leave them there. I'll carry them myself.
Yep. I'll leave them right here, right in your room.
Get on out of here, you scoundrel.
Well, okay, I'll get on out of here.
And he huffs and puffs his back to his room. But you know where his room is.
I take note of where his room is.
Yeah. There you go. I think by the end of that party, that had happened after he had been crewed up, and he is crewed up on Bartholomew's team. If that ever
whack
comes up. Oh, yeah, I guess that would be whack for you. Too bad.
I didn't even fail a roll. I don't even get an XP for that. It's just a bad situation.
He just is on the other team.
You didn't fail, it just sucked.
During the party, our camera switches over to as that wealthy boy is stomping off away from Slippy, we pan over to Cookie, who is hard at work with Old Lady Weathers. When you return, she updates you and says that the spawn of the flora that you left in my care, the Irinian spore and the mushroom, came together quite nicely. Seems like the electrical charge given off by the mushroom is an actual occurrence in nature. It is not just a shock of adrenaline, but a short jolt of electricity, and in which is how it gives off its adrenaline boost. This Irinian spore went really well with it as a way to sort of amplify that. But the problem is when they get old enough, there is nothing really there to stop it. It overheats with all of the energy that it's putting out and begins to melt. There's nothing really on this station that is exposed to so much heat.
I have this magma ginger that I got from Hot Planet, and I don't know that it would interbreed with the mushrooms because they're mushrooms and it's not a mushroom. But what if we just cultivate this magma ginger, and then we make that the food for the mushrooms, and maybe then the mushrooms, as they are growing and feeding on the magma ginger, can bring in some of this heat resistance. I don't know science, but maybe.
What do you think, botanists?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think that it's well worth a shot if we can create a new sort of. Maybe we can get it to. I don't know that it would blend with the fungi, but maybe we can. I would say that mosses are rather susceptible. Maybe we can get it to blend with a moss, and we can use that moss as like a growth patch, as you were suggesting.
Like a rust moss.
We have plenty of mosses on the station, as in not requiring you to give up more stuff for it. We have plenty of mosses on the station. I think that this would be great to try with. Plenty of rust moss growing along the metallic channels here in the station. If you wouldn't mind maybe collecting a few of those samples while I get started on breaking down this magma ginger, definitely give it a shot. All right, give it a shot for me.
10 plus, get both from the list below. So a gourmet and 3 staples. So I'm moss hunting. So
Yeah.
Is it all moss?
Whoops, all moss.
Your staple ingredient is 2 mosses that you need for this, but you will also get the bonus of, we'll say, one pinwheel, and then you will also receive a new gourmet ingredient. While harvesting this rust moss, you find a particularly thick patch of it grows a... You know that when this stuff gets dense enough, it will begin to compressed together into something known as iron vines. And iron vines, when cut off, harden and are used to, in culinary, used to grate over different dishes as almost a salt or a cheese, like an herbal parmesan. So you collect those and return to Old Lady Weathers, and the two of you set off, spending some, time, a good portion of time trying to break down the rust moss and the magma ginger in order to create this new sort of growth substance for these mushrooms to be able to withstand the heat that they produce. While Cookie is spending this time doing this, what are the other 3 of you doing during your time off in between missions?
I think Carl is gonna be hitting the shooting range. That's
I would like to be tinkering my various party devices, amping them up. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No, let's start there with Carl. So you're spending that time, you said, training in the shooting range and in the sort of combat gallery.
Yep.
I think that there's actually a role for this to bolster. Let me just reread over that to make sure that this one would apply. When you spend your leisure time in study, meditation, or hard practice, you gain preparation. If you prepare for a week or 2, take 1 preparation, so you would take 1 preparation. When your preparation pays off, spend 1 preparation to get +1 to any roll.
Gotcha.
And I think that, it says to any roll, so I think to any roll, whenever you spend it, I'll ask, where in Carl's week did he come across maybe this this thought or this situation, or where is he tying it to, just for flavor, whenever you do that. Yeah. But you get +1 whenever you choose to use it.
Awesome.
Let's spend a little bit of in-game time doing this. You show up to the shooting range. I believe that I have her named Shaq. Shaq, the sort of ranged and dexterous, lithe trainer. She is a human, and she is sort of no nonsense. As you show up, she is hosting a training on bows, which is not something that Carl, I think. What's Carl's experience like with bows?
You could use 4 bows.
I don't know. I doubt Carl has used a bow, probably just familiar with them, contextually.
Okay. So this week, Carl gets some training in bows, at least right off the bat. It will, of course, it progresses. There's some guns later down in the week, but I think when you show up, they're doing a bow training. Give me a volley roll. Give me a volley roll with this weapon, and I think on the total roll, give me -1. Not your preparation, of course, but this is due to the thing that Carl has never touched one of these weapons before. This is just again
that makes sense.
For flavor.
That's 12 total.
12 total. Holy cow. All right. Carl picks up the bow, and I think the first bow that Carl picks up is not right. And Carl thinks about it for a second, just maybe I should just get started and shoot it off. But Carl actually spends a longer moment, much to the, I would say, slight aggravation of Shaq, to find the right tool, is how Carl might put it.
This seems like nonsense.
Crossbow first. Was crossbow seems right, but they take so long to load, and it's maybe one of these regular bows, because I've got the extra tentacles to be loading as I'm drawing.
This seems like nonsense.
I like that. You're kind of attempting to explain it, and Shaq goes to roll her eyes, and Carl takes that moment to begin firing. You were explaining I could fire multiple arrows, and Carl, with that 12, you fire 2 arrows in rapid succession, and they hit directly next to each other. You don't do the fun thing where you split up the arrow in like Robin Hood style, but you hit
You're not that good.
bullseyes on the same target. And Shaq stops and is rather impressed, and she says, "Well, I do believe that I've been one-upped on this one." And she spends actually a little bit of this week in like close working with you. After this class, for the rest of the week, she like invites you in for like some personal training. She was like, I see something in you. That was an incredible shot. I would like to tutor you a touch in the ways of the bow."
That would be excellent. I would like to improve my ability to shoot things.
Perfect. After this week, you'll get your +1 to any role you wish, and we can kind of phrase it in the way of like a story Shaq told you, or whatever, however you want to phrase that at that time. So while Carl is doing this, BBW, you said you wanted to butts with your machines. What does this look like? Are we talking to core? Where are we doing this?
I think definitely the core, as well as thinking with this how they're looking, the way that they look.
Okay.
So I want to put one to like specific stuff.
What do you want to do with the way that they look? You come into this tech bay, again attached to the science bay, and core. Dang, I'm gonna just do that with all C words. Core is hard at work with a few assistants over some lab tables. They're just working on a lot of different tech pieces, like a lot of different things. It looks like they might be a little overwhelmed with general orders at the moment. You even see like a table of like house appliances, like toasters and things like that like one assistant is working on, much to his chagrin. What do you do in this tech bay?
Wander in like the party robot I am, greet everybody. Hey, what's up, you?
Core
everybody.
Yeah,
this has to be you.
Most of them, like, some of them will like look up and maybe wave and say, "Hey," but they mostly get back to work. They seem to be kind of swamped. Core is the only one that stops and says, welcome on in, BBW. Good to see you."
Good to see you once again as well. What's all the hype for here?
We are just backlogged in general repair orders at the moment. Seems to be quite a number of extra broken appliances and bits around the station as of late. I have heard of your crew's exploits on your recent mission, and I believe that congratulations are in order.
Very much. Thank you. I mean, I don't think they could have done it without me, honestly. I mean, I bring so much joy, and I feel like I really have a purpose now.
Oh, that's fantastic. I do remember last time you were here saying that you had sort of lost your purpose. Have you found it in bringing joy to your crew?
Well, maybe a purpose. But it feels good.
Okay. Yeah, Yeah. You here to work on your machines, young robot?
Yes, I'm here to spice them up, as I think they would say. I want to have them have a better look, more appealing for them, my party members. What's this appliance over here? I'm going to point to the toaster.
That's a toaster.
Make bread hot, BBW.
You think I could incorporate this into myself?
I apologize. You're trying to change your machines into household appliances rather than party favors?
I just want them to look like it.
I just think this one looks appealing.
You want only one to be a toaster, or do you want them all to be household appliances?
All to be toasters.
If they're I just want this one. There are many more to come, of course. This is just the beginning.
Oh, you're building like a new machine.
Sort of. I'm replacing old parts.
Replacing some old parts. Okay, yeah, we can help you get it to look like a toaster. I'd love to give you a few instructions on that. So, are you what is this mechanically speaking for BBW?
This toaster will be his laser cutter.
Is this a new spell?
No, it's his laser beam, not laser cutter.
Oh, you're just changing the look of your laser beam into a toaster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for now, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
You're making Jotun.
Yeah, I think that this probably I think that we could consider this bolster as well. You are spending your time in, hard practice on your machines, and Core is helping you learn new things about machines if you wanted to treat this as a bolster. So you get a +1 in future scenarios to just sort of add as you will, and it will come from your conversations here with Core as he is like teaching you how to
Toaster up.
change your laser beam into this toaster.
You bought the premium toaster skin.
Yeah. Is that somewhere on your body? Do you have like 2 toaster slots now on your chest or something? Can it toast bread?
Oh yeah, I can.
Of course it can.
Okay, just on a super low setting. Otherwise, it's so burnt.
Yeah. I want to say.
Oh,
it's
sorry, you just want to toast it? No, I can burn bread. That's what I can do.
I will only burn it for you. I want to say this is directly to the back of my abdomen. Just like on my back, like a backpack.
On your back, your laser beams come from your back. I like that. Means you can't be looking at the target. Even better.
Can your head turn around?
Yeah, my head can turn around. I can just.
Excuse me, would you like some
like
toast? Here, have it from my back.
Slippy, what are you doing this week?
I think I'm gonna tail the Inquisitor because I assume BBW relays who they think the Inquisitor is, and then at that point, I would just sort of, keep an eye out.
Yeah, Bartholomew.
I never got a chance to tell everybody.
Yeah, we could say the message was passed on. You spend this week tailing Bartholomew or Jeremy Pevins. Why don't we frame this in the questions from Discern Realities?
Okay.
I don't think this is a bolster. I think this is more of a give you an opportunity for a roll.
Ooh, not so good. Okay, so I get 1. What should I be on the lookout for?
Jeremy Pevins spends his days as any normal new recruit would. He goes to his first week.
I hate
training. He goes to the meetings and to the classes that every new recruit that you guys went through on that first week, right? He does the combat training and the like. We'll say on his crew, he is the combat specialist. And so he spends a lot more of his week in this area. We'll say that Carl even, probably shoots alongside him at some point. But he seems like a normal recruit. At some point, Slippy even starts to get a little concerned. Maybe this isn't the right dude. Maybe he just paused and his name is Bartholomew. Until a night about 4 or 5 days in, Slippy is leaning against a wall down the corridor from Jeremy Pevins's crew quarters, where Jeremy Pevins and that weird wimpy rich kid are, at least the 2 that we know of. And it's late. It's late. Like, you might have even already been back at your own apartment this evening, and your crew is conked out. Cookie is nowhere to be seen, but BBW and Carl are asleep for the evening, and you go back out to keep an eye on Pevins' apartment overnight. And Pevins comes out.
Yeah, it's okay because I'm nocturnal. I mean, I'm not, but Carissa was, so I was nocturnal.
Yeah, sounds
Pevins
right.
Comes out fairly late and goes to the bridge command center. The door shuts behind him. Do you?
Okay, interesting. I don't feel like it's a good idea for me to try and break in on this conversation. So what I think I'm going to do instead is spend the rest of my week spreading rumors about how this guy is a kiss ass and how he's always sucking up to the captain.
Yeah, so you see him go into there and you say like, oh, this isn't it. And you take off for the evening. You spend the rest of the week spreading those rumors.
Spout lore.
Spouting lore about this guy's fake ego, fake identity.
Yeah, you followed him well. He went in there. You paired off. You got these rumors started. By the end of the week, you'll say that you probably even heard it in the lunchroom at some point. Like you're eating lunch and you hear a crew talking next to you. Did you hear that new? Did you use Jeremy's name or did you use Bartholomew's name?
Bartholomew.
Yeah. Did you hear that new Bartholomew guys? What did you say about him?
He's a big kiss ass.
He's
He's
a big
always
kiss
he's
ass?
always blowing smoke up the captain's butt.
He comes to sit with them at some point, and they say like, "Oh, we don't want to kiss ass sitting with us," and they get up and leave him alone. He kind of pouts into his lunch. However, at the end of this week, you all are going about your separate business, and a station wide sort of, it's not an alert like a be alarmed alert, but it's more of like there will be a, I'm gonna call it an awards ceremony, but I don't exactly remember what it's called. You'll find out when we get there. There will be an award ceremony in the next hour in the best place for an award ceremony. In Food and O2 production. They said that they're setting up a little outside, seating area with a little stage, and if you're receiving awards, you'll get it beamed directly to you. And if you want to come and support anyone else getting awards, then there are more than enough seats.
Oh, well, obviously we'll be getting awards.
4 of you separately receive messages as you're going about your daily stuff. I'll even say that Cookie sees them setting up not too far away from where you're kind of far away from where you're doing your stuff, but as you're like out and about collecting materials on this 7th day of the week, you even see them setting up for this award ceremony, and each of you receives a note that you are being commended at this awards ceremony.
It immediately goes to Slippy's head.
As a crew, do you folks dress up for it? Do you just go in what you're wearing? What's your...
Slippy goes in his best studs. Which are probably not great.
Carl's wearing a very nice dress because they don't make pants with enough legs for octopi. They're very inconvenient to put on at the very least.
I'll wear 4 pairs of pants.
What happens if I don't go?
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like the opposite of laying low.
I'll accept your reward. I'll accept your reward for you.
Yeah, tell them I'm doing important research.
For the lower 60% of the of the station.
We'll just leave it for the betterment of the station. You don't need to give them any clues as to what we're up to.
Specifically the lower 60%. I mean, sorry, the upper 40% of the station. That's what the research is for.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
This
I watched the live stream though, for sure.
I was gonna say either way you won't know. But I guess you will now.
So, BBW, do you have any formal attire for this?
I don't think so. Maybe I'll wear a hat.
A hat. What kind of hat?
Festive hat.
A party hat.
Party hat. Like one of those cones? Like the cone hats?
Yeah. Colorful
cone. Okay. Love it. The 3 of you show up. There is an empty seat next to you with Cookie's name.
I sort of spread out into both of the chairs.
This award ceremony is a rank award ceremony. They're calling here to commend, various folks that have been moving up in the ranks. There are a few commendations before you folks, the more major ones. Shaq has received a commendation and received the new rank of lieutenant. She was previously sergeant, so she has received a boost in ranking for one of her previous missions. There's a few other ones as well that you folks don't know. And then they are doing a ceremony to promote the various cadets that have earned their way up to specialists. And you 4 are called up to the stage. During this time, it would be BBW goes to the stage first, and you all have like a rank patch on your, your probably traditional military duds you might have been handed. They not necessarily that they fit all of you, right? You're probably given a basic one-size-fits-all that almost fits none of you. But it had a rank patch for a cadet on it. When they realize one by one that you're Slippy, are you wearing you're pretty much the only one that might be able to wear it.
That's the best clothing I own, probably. Okay. So
yeah. So when they realize that you folks aren't wearing this, Carl, have you brought your patch? I knowing that you don't fit into your stuff, have you reassociated any of that onto your garb or attire in any way?
I probably haven't had time other than like maybe I've torn the patch off of the other thing and like I have it like resting somewhere, but it's not like sewn on or anything.
Sure,
That's
sure.
funny.
They
Got
go
it
through
safety
and
pinned to my shoulder.
they remove your cadet patches and all give you specialist patches. And when they call up Cookie after Carl and Cookie isn't there, they give it to your team as a sort of an absentee award for Cookie. And then Slippy goes up and he's the only one on the team to wear his traditional garb, and they take the cadet patch off and ceremoniously place the specialist patch upon Slippy's shoulder, last on the team.
Slippy is
And
weeping.
there are a few other, teams to receive this note, but it seems, actually, I'm going to say there's one other team that came in at the same time as you guys that received this note. The other teams, after the time that you've spent here, have been here a little bit longer. You guys
And they're not
are
as good.
on the fast track, as it were. There's a little bit of a schmoozing cocktail hour afterwards. Do you folks stay around to cocktail hour?
Slippy will.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, at some point you folks are hanging out. You have a few drinks in hand, and Captain Rake approaches you with Bartholomew at his side. The two of them come up, and Captain Rake says, "Oh yeah, this was a great event. I'm so proud of your team for already making your way up to specialists." And Bartholomew says, "Yes, that is a incredibly quick timing. You guys have put in the work, huh?"
Yeah, we've been working really hard, Haven't been, just resting on our laurels and, having friends in high places, nothing like that.
Nope.
Just good, honest work from these folks.
Captain Rake looks around and says, "I noticed that Cookie wasn't here to accept rewards. Is everything okay with her?" He looks a little nervous.
Yeah, Cookie's just real busy. Cookie's working on the betterment of society and the station, doing a lot of research.
Bartholomew says, "Well, I'm certain that I must give her commendation, I guess, in person. I'll make sure to stop by and tell her congratulations for making her way up as well."
Oh, yeah. Do you think that's going to be the next person that you see?
Isn't Bartholomew disguised as a recruit? What business does a recruit have giving me congratulations?
He's a kiss ass.
You aren't here, and he's a kick ass. He's a kiss ass.
Or at least that's the rumor that I started about it.
That's the rumor that I started. Yes, I must go give her a kiss on the ass to tell her what a good job she's done. There is a few more days of passive training and preparing, and I would say that on Cookie's end, by the end of this, period of time, you've woken up today and you've gone back to the lab with Old Lady Weathers. You two are looking over this sort of sunken pit that you have uncovered for the day, and it has
The mushroom
some
pit.
mosses growing in it, and you two are checking. It is the early stages of moss growth on the top, but the readings seem to read that you have done a successful blending of these two, and so this moss theoretically should be heat resistant for you as it grows. She says that it will need a little bit of time to, continue its growth before we are able to test the shrooms in it, but I think this is a great start.
I certainly agree. When can we expect to have our first crop of mushrooms laid down on it?
Well, if all goes according to, as it should, I would say that in the next couple of weeks we should see spores starting to grow.
And have we tested how heat resistant this moss actually is?
Not entirely. What is your thought?
Well, either we could try and secure a flamethrower or an aerosol can or something and just try and set it on fire, or we could take a strip over it and set it on top of our latest crop of hybrid shrooms and just see if it slows the melting any, or if it catches fire when they when they get too hot. Can it resist their heat?
I think that's a fine idea. I think I have a few that should, within the next couple days, be reaching that point of melting. We can attempt to insulate them. And as you two are talking, the door to the lab opens up, and in strolls a tall, black-clad human.
And he's instantly friendly with you because I've already touched it with my poison.
Did you do that poison thing?
I mean, I've been following him this week, so I mean, if I see that he's heading towards this, I might try to touch him with the poison.
Yeah, I mean, you see he's heading towards the lab. If you're still, you're still following him towards after that award ceremony.
Yeah.
How do you want to go about trying to touch him with this stuff?
I'm going to say I'm just gonna sort of like call after him. His name is Brandon.
Bartholomew is
Bartholomew.
The name that he has been, yeah.
Okay. Slippy's gonna say, "Hey, Bartholomew, fancy seeing you here. I was just getting ready to go and congratulate Cookie. Are you heading that way as well?"
Yes, I am. I wanted to give my congratulations to the newest specialist on the station.
That's fucking sick, dude. Let's go do that with each other. And then Slippy offers the Predator handshake. The two big buff arms that just.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a big schmear on my hand. I'm immune to it because that's one of my things.
So he touches it and he locks eye contact with you and he says, "Hell yeah. It's nice to meet a new friend on this station."
Hell yeah, brother. Now don't look at me while we go and
he's staring at you. He's eye contact locked with you.
Well, yeah, it's the next creature that he sees. It's not the creature that he's currently seeing. It's the next creature that he sees.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so the door opens up, and in walks, I guess, this tall, black-clad Bartholomew. And
Slippy.
Slippy into the room. And he starts off with, "I hear congratulations are in order," and begins clapping annoyingly, obnoxiously.
I'm not going to acknowledge his presence.
But he's so very friendly to you.
No, he's not. He's being loud.
He's about to be
in the room.
Don't worry, he's about to be.
Well, Cookie, friend, have you heard the good news?
Cookie, this is your trusted ally, and he's here to congratulate you on your new rank, which we all got. Here you go. That was what happened at the award ceremony. Here's your patch. And then I do a friendship cant to you, and I say, he's under the same poison as the old lady. I'm just poisoning everybody.
I say, it is a pleasure to meet you, and thank you very much, Slippy. I regret my inability to attend the ceremony, but
it's okay. You got big things going.
More important things to do down here at work.
Well, I'm gonna go. So you guys have fun.
Yes, run along and take your friend with you. I'm quite busy.
He's not my friend. He just had something to say to you, I guess. I don't know. Goodbye.
I was just a little curious. You and Old Lady Weather seem to be doing quite a lot of work down here. What is it that the two of you are up to?
Classified.
I'm afraid that's a private project that's been requisitioned by Captain Rake. You'll have to get his clearance for us to discuss it.
Give me parlay. Roll plus charisma.
Are you sure he wouldn't just respect the wishes of his trusted ally?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I'll give you a +1 to this. To act as that bonus. He's being friendly. He's just asking question. That's an 11.
He fucks off.
I will be sure to ask him just such a thing. I find myself rather interested in the schools of science and technology. So maybe if I'm able to provide a hand once I'm led into the classification, I will might find myself down here working alongside you. I will leave the two of you to it then. I trust your work is important.
Thank you.
Indeed. And he leaves. Old Lady Weathers looks up and says, "Okay, well, back to it then." And
right whenever he comes outside, Slippy is there, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the club?"
Club. I
You know, a little unts. That's really hard for me to do though because I'm like a frog. So it's like.
Slippy has the eggs though, right?
I do have the eggs.
Okay, cool.
This is the time.
Oh yes, because when you got back to the station, you splurted out some new eggs for Slippy. Okay. You comes out and you guys are gonna go to the club.
I guess.
All right, we need to come up with a club.
Space Club.
In Sector 3 in the residential area, there have been several. There's a whole hallway of crew quarters that have been transformed. Basically, all these crews came together and de-walled. You know, like took all the walls down and created a party space for members of this station, and it has turned into a little seedier, but it's like, you know, it's like a club. It's a club.
Seedy in the fun way.
And with all of your digging around, as you approach the club, you realize that it is one of the hallways butted up to, like, one of its walls is butted up to the hallway into the closed off area of the station. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, yes.
Yeah, like the back of the club, that wall leads into the hallway.
Into the 60%?
Into the closed off area. Yes. Yes, so you get here and it's a club. Imagine, you know, flashing lights, metallic dance floor, rails, and a bar.
Cyberpunk 2077.
It's a Cyberpunk 2077 bar, yeah. You know, lights and metal and robots and aliens.
I am gonna look at the bar crew and see if there's anyone there that I have a rapport with. Anybody that I recognize.
Yeah, you look up and down the bar. Have you been here before? Have you?
I've probably been here a couple times. I feel like, you know, I spend a lot of my time sort of like keeping eyes on people, and I feel like a lot of people probably come through here once or twice.
Yeah, they have a regular couple bartenders here, but the main one that's here every single day is a twin-headed robot that has several different like tubular like arms, able to take care of, you know, able to at least converse with two customers at once, but also able to, you know, serve the bar all at the same time.
Robots aren't usually very morally malleable, so probably won't work with this robot. So we'll probably just have, you know, a chill time, and I'll probably try and not involve anyone else in my scheme here.
Okay.
Actually, do I see any of the other cadets that I saw in the group that were making fun of him?
Yeah, you see those two hold up at the other side of the bar. They're sharing some drinks and laughing Chad-like.
Okay, so 100%, I've already got the move. 100%, I'm ready to go. Okay, so what my play is first I say, hey, why don't you go and get the first round? I'll get the next round. I see a couple of my buddies over there. I just want to go have a word with them.
You invited me out to drinks.
I'll give you the credits. Here's the credits. Take them. I want a Bloody Mary. I want a space Bloody Mary.
Okay. He wanders up to the bar, and you go to your friends.
I go over to him. I go over to him and I go, hey boys, how would you two like to help me out with a prank? I've got one of these fucking kiss asses along with me tonight, and I'm gonna give him something in his drink that's gonna make him throw up.
You want to hold on? We were getting on board, and then you started talking roofies.
It's not gonna make him throw up a lot. It's just gonna make him throw up a little bit. It's a prank. It's not gonna hurt the guy.
Give me a parlay, roll plus charisma.
100%.
They definitely want to do this, but they're a little concerned about you.
10.
They look over at your friend who's just gotten this Bloody Mary, and he is also carrying a, what is this fool drink? A martini, filled to the top of the rim neat. He's trying to carry him over, but it's just like splashing all down his hand awkwardly. And they like chuckle to themselves, and they're like, all right, we could prank him. What do we got to do?
Honestly, they're real littles. So if you just distract him for a little bit, and then we have maybe like a chug off, then he'll drink his drink real quick and then have a bad time.
All right, we can give this guy a distraction. And as he brings over,
just give him a wide berth whenever he takes his drink. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we know. And as he comes up, they reach out and they're like, "Hey, to apologize for treating you like shit earlier.
I found Beavis and Butthead.
We would apologize for treating you like shit earlier. You have a moment for us to do just that? And he says, you know what? I think I do. I think that everyone deserves a second chance. Slippy, my friend, would you mind holding on to these drinks while I go?
With pleasure.
Fantastic. And they sequester him off a couple seats away up the bar and like sincerely apologize to him.
I just sprinkle a little bit and do my finger mix up.
Gross.
It's a dirty martini, right? Surely.
Gross. You do that.
If it wasn't before, it is now. Now it's a dirty martini.
Do that. Actually, because this is a high stakes situation, give me defy danger dexterity as your 100%. Stealth roll.
10.
Jeez.
+2, baby.
Well, you do that. He comes back over in a few minutes. He's like, gosh, those two guys, they apologized for treating me like shit earlier. They made me feel really good, and then they said they had somewhere to be. And he looks back over at the bar, and they're at the doorway giving you thumbs up. And he gives them thumbs up back, and he like smiles and waves, and they're like,
he goes, and Slippy goes, you know how we celebrate that on my planet?
How?
Reconciliation, a big old chug contest. And Slippy starts chugging his drink.
He panics and he grabs his drink and he pounds down the martini significantly faster than you, except when he comes up, he's like gasping for air. He's like, I won.
Slippy goes, oh, good job. That means on my planet, you get to buy the next round.
I'll get us around. The local customs and all. And he buys another round of drinks.
Win in space.
And he has eaten these eggs or
and
drank
Slippy at the end of the night.
You
calls,
sure you didn't put them in your own glass?
Am I sure? No. Is Slippy sure? Also probably no, but he thinks he's probably got it. Those are two very different drinks.
Confident enough to drink it.
Stirs a tomato-based beverage with his finger.
Slippy calls Cookie, and Slippy just goes,
hey, he drank them. Those aren't, they don't die in alcohol, do they? Okay, good. Well, then, no problems then. The guy's got him in him. So you won't have any problems with him in 1d4 days or whatever.
Yes, yeah, 1d4 to see how long for egg to hatch. A 1. He eats these eggs.
Drink.
How many eggs?
I put them all in there.
And the man's ate 2 eggs, and
I fed him to the guy that we think is the guy who may or may not be the guy.
In a day.
At the very least, we have an infected person.
Yeah, either way, that's progress, I think.
The following morning, you 4 are summoned to the Bridge Command Center. Captain Brake is behind his, desk of jobs, and he has, as you folks get situated here in the bridge, he presents you with 3 files.
Ooh.
And he tells you, we've got new missions for you folks. It's about time to head out on another mission. And this is what we've got in store. You'll notice that the pay is a bit higher as suits your new rank, but you'll also notice that the requirements may require a bit more from your group. We're trusting you now to uphold our image and introduce it to new communities. And the 3 files in front of you, one is labeled Verdansk, and the quick read reads that it is a forested planet, very minimal to 0 technology. Like the technology percentage on the planet is the lowest it can be without being 0. You get a sense that
they don't even have 1 robot.
Not super welcome here. The pay for the Verdansk mission is 100 credits per person.
Whoa!
But
That's
there is a
2
label.
ship tokens per person.
There is a label at the bottom that states that no technology will be allowed in save for biotech, such as like a robot is allowed in with limiters, and if you have like a machine heart, it's allowed in, but you're not allowed to bring in your guns. You're not allowed to bring in, like, you're going to be dropped in planet side from a special station, so this will be a harder mission, you are warned. There is a protection mission. A very high-end gambler has had threats against his life, and he is attending a big horse race at a planetary coliseum just called the Racetrack. It is a huge coliseum, bigger than just this racetrack, as well as like gambling casinos. This is like Casino Planet, basically. So protection of a high value asset on Casino Planet while he attends his race. That one will pay 50 credits per person. Captain Rake, he hands you those two files and you're looking through them, and then he hands you another one. This one seems cobbled together. Less official, certainly. And he says, and this one's a bit special, I'll say. We had these two missions here for you folks, but this third one is, I would say, almost entirely thanks to you folks. We got those readouts from that massive chunk of Delta 8 that you sent back after your first mission, and if you folks are able to find out where that's gone and bring that back.
You want us to go and find you Delta 8 as a quest?
That chunk of Delta 8, not just bring back some Delta, that was like the biggest chunk of Delta 8. So if you are able to follow that readout that you gave us and track it down, granted, this one's not a mission I'm sure that for sure can be done. This one's just, we talked with the captain and she's very interested in this chunk. It may end up in a waste of time. If you come back empty-handed, you will of course be paid, but a lesser amount. Your base pay, you'll be paid 15 if you return without it. But he says if you return with it, the station is able to offer you as high as 60 credits per person.
Slippy is kind of feeling casino mission personally.
Thinking the same thing.
Slippy kind of loves that idea.
Sounds fun. Fucking Oceans for this motherfucker.
Yeah, I just took the best trait for that situation, I feel like.
Yeah, casino sounds like a good time.
And when things inevitably go wrong, I just took the best trait for shooting everybody that we need to shoot.
I love that. I love that you're ready to shoot.
Casino mission it is, he says, and he takes the
Captain, we choose casino mission.
The files back. He gives you a brief rundown of this mission. He says you are to meet your target in the docking bay of the Racetrack Casino Planet. They will give you all of the information. We know that this pay is coming directly from them at the end of the mission.
So don't leave without getting paid. Got it.
Leave without getting paid. Generally, we don't like to run with where customers pay themselves, but in this case, we thought that, those working, if able to successfully deal with the mission, might be able to garner a bit more money with how high profile this target is. So with that, it seems that the race will be occurring in 2 weeks, and it will be about a week of travel. So whenever you folks are ready to take off, you are given the go-ahead.
Okay.
Is there any ship or personal stuff you folks want to buy or purchase or do before you go out on this mission?
Slippy doesn't have anything. Slippy's Gucci.
Double check. There was something I was looking at. Oh, can I buy a healing draft?
Yeah.
Just, given someone fucking died in front of my eyes on the last mission, I'm kind of I feel like I should buy health for my team.
Sure, yeah. I think that that can be picked up from the armory. Yeah, you go to get decked out for missions. You refill if your canisters are not empty, you can have them refilled. Otherwise, you'll have to purchase a new canister, which we have prices for. But
they're not even close to empty. Sure. I've only fired 6 total shots, so.
Great.
Should be easy to fill.
Then they refill those, and you purchase a healing draft. There is a discount for your new rank, and it is 3 credits off.
Wow.
Nice. 3 whole
Yay.
credits.
Everything's 3
wow,
credits cheaper.
Slippy says out
The
loud.
ship tokens are 5 credits cheaper, so they're 45.
Oh,
per
okay.
person.
Hold on. Now we're talking.
That night, you folks are chilling in your bay, preparing for eventual takeoff tomorrow. There is a knock at the door.
Slippy goes, oh, I know who that is.
I'll also go to answer.
And in through the door walks Bartholomew. Or the door opens and Bartholomew is revealed. His head is like twisting around and looking in all sorts of different directions, almost like sporadically.
Slippy's going, yeah.
And he almost scuttles in the door. And then his skin like ripples and reveals, it like ripples and spreads out a bit to reveal a very small version of a very small male version of Cookie.
And
he
Slippy
looks up
leans
at-
down and he goes, happy birthday.
That's perfect. I was gonna say he looks up at Cookie and says, "Mama," and then the like we cut to black.
And then the show is over. The end. That's the episode.
You've killed
Chutchling.
You've killed.
We've
an invasive
killed a government
species agent
employee
and turned
yes!
it into an invasive species.
It's so ironic. It's perfect.
So you guys have your first Chutchling, and it is
First on station
the
Chutchling.
invasive species agent Jeremy Pevins.
Do we find out that he's actually that now for sure? We know for sure now.
I don't know if you'll ever know for sure. This is a
Oh
baby.
God! Does he not have?
Now
like,
we can loot his shit.
documents?
And
Oh,
find
now
his
you can-
ID. He's dead. What
Now
is
you
his
can
ID?
loot his shit. Well, you can loot his pockets. You loot his pockets. I'll say that you would find enough to ID him as Jeremy Pevins, but nothing else.
Yes, that's perfect. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know for sure that I didn't just do all this for nothing.
Do a murder on a rando.
He's just some guy who's just kind of weird.
All right. So for end of session such and such, when you reach the end of the session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved or advanceable. And you want to have a bond that they feel can progress.
Yeah, I mean, this is the full fruition of the con that Cookie and I have running, so I'm going to go ahead and call that one.
I would say so. I would agree with that entirely. I think it might have started off in a different place, but also like you've learned new things and it has developed.
Made it happen.
Yeah, it happened. You turned Jeremy Pevins into a bug and got Cookie,
That's a
quote
good
unquote,
one for it too.
laid. So before next time, we'll have to, you'll have to get that switched over. But you get 1 experience from that. Gabe has one that is Carl's interests do not challenge my goals. We should share a meal together and discover if we have use for each other. While you haven't, I mean, you guys have shared a few meals, but while you haven't done it with this necessarily in mind, I was saying that I think that you guys have discovered that you have a use for each other. Like you've discovered at least a teammate camaraderie here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I think that could be advanced. You can mark an experience and label it to be altered. It can stay on the same path and advance that story, or you can create a new bond entirely. Carl, I think that one might go with yours as well. Do you still hesitate to trust Princess Grubbins?
Yeah, between 2, and I think especially since Cookie's going with that one, I think I'm going to lean towards that. I was also considering trusting Slippy because I saw him drop that suitcase and he looked so stupid he can't possibly have an ulterior motive. But I think that there's kind of an emotional value to like scooping up someone's dead body and carrying them away, where you're like, I feel an obligation of care now for this person, and that like kind of makes the bridge of trust a little easier. So I think that might have been the
I like that
hill to get over.
I like that. I like that they're like, sorry, I like this evolving into sort of like an obligation of like taking care of Cookie. I've seen that Cookie has fallen in battle and I must make sure that, you know, that does not happen again or something along those lines. I think it's a really fun way to put in what has happened in the story currently into that thing. So you can mark an experience and we'll get that changed by next time. Wally, any for you?
Nope. But I see some they're really gonna work on because the one I have with Cookie.
Yeah, I think
is proof that things can be achieved without machines. I say that's an amazing thing that I've just witnessed.
that's true.
And unless I count the toast as my babies, then I don't know what I can do.
No, that the thing that you have just said is true, and I think that will keep it. Like, I think that's a great way to phrase this. Cookie is a proof that great things can be achieved without machines, because Cookie, in a week from you guys landing, has birthed a child.
With Slippy's help.
With Slippy's help, yes. But Cookie has created a basically a minion in this amount of time without any machines at all, except for the machine known as Slippy. Slippitron. So yeah, I mean, I think that you could probably mark an experience for that as well. You'll have to change this. It doesn't have to involve Cookie. If it does, it should evolve based on like how this has happened, right? Cookie has proven to you that great things can happen without machines. Now, what does that mean? Or it can be with someone totally new. You can have two with the same person. You can have, you know, that can go a different way if you want, but it could also involve that. Okay. So each of you updated one bond, which is great. So each of you marked one experience on that. And then just a couple questions. First, did the crew learn something new and important about the world?
We learned that there was
We learned about the invasive species.
Yeah,
We learned that
one.
blasting shit through a horn does actually affect purple worms, which we were not sure would work.
That's true.
I would say yes on all.
We also
all those
learned
accounts.
Jeremy Piven's identity.
Yes, yeah. You learned a lot about the invasive species committee. So yes, I think everyone marks one experience from that.
Nice.
Did you overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Yes.
Jeremy Pivens.
Jeremy Pivens and also the
I
purple
fucking
worms.
murdered him.
He didn't
Same
stand
answer.
a chance. He didn't even know.
Same answer on both of these. And did you loot a memorable treasure?
Jeremy Piven's ID.
Jeremy Pivens, the minion. I don't know that you looted a memorable treasure.
We just brought back the magma, which wasn't really for us, so.
Yeah, that was like the traditional bring back.
The captain thought it was notable. He promoted us.
Fucking
But it's fine if you don't think it was DM.
huge. No.
I'm one away from next level already.
3 mark experience for all 3 of those.
You will mark a total of this in session as 3 experience. 1 everyone got for bonds, and then those first 2 questions. I don't think that you
And I
guys
think you
looted
failed a
memorable
roll,
treasure.
BBW.
You did
So
fail a
make
roll
you also
during
get
this.
that one.
Oh, then okay, I'm updated then.
So everyone levels up before this next mission, right?
Oh yeah. Already done did it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. What stat did you upgrade, Slippy?
Oh, you get to upgrade a stat too?
You get 1 stat
Mhm.
point. So like if it's a 15, you turn it to 16 rather than not like +1
Oh.
+2, but you would change it from 15 to 16. If that changes it, yes, then great. You get 1 stat point in any stat you want. And
Wait, is it D&D rules for the pluses?
no,
Not
the
quite.
pluses are a
It's
touch,
slightly off.
Yeah, they're a little skewed because you can't.
When
go
do I get
higher
plus
than
2?
Plus
Uh,
2 is at 16 to 17.
16,
Oh, okay.
17.
I have it tabbed up.
Appreciate that.
When do you get plus 1? Is that 13?
13 to 15.
Okay, I can make my health go up. I'll probably do that. I'll probably go with Constitution.
Okay, I like that. What's your ability? What's your new ability?
I'm never surprised. I can always act first.
Oh, you're just shoot first. Never caught by surprise when an enemy would get the drop on you. You get to act first instead.
They don't instead.
They just don't. I like that. This one, I love that. All right,
Psych.
Carl.
I've
What
outsmarted your outsmarting.
what stat did you increase?
I added 1 strength because I keep trying to break shit, and I had a +0 to strength, and now I've got a +1.
Okay, perfect.
and I took Itchy Trigger Finger, which means when I use volley, before I roll, I can spend as many extra ammo as I want, and that is the number of extra people I can target, and the same damage applies to all of them.
Oh
Damn.
my god.
That's insane.
Oh my god, that is insane.
Oh yeah.
Hi, I shoot everyone.
Oh, I like how you've leveled these out so you know like what you want at what level.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like that. Okay, neat. Itchy Trigger Finger is pretty powerful. Wally, what stat are you increasing?
Definitely intelligence.
Smart.
Move
Bring
to
that up to
17.
17. You're almost to 18 with that. That's good.
Yeah.
And then what ability are you taking at level 2?
So is this? I just take one of the advanced moves, or what
Yes,
kind of?
one of the advanced moves. And I think for
No.
you, while you're looking at that, let me look at something else real quick. Whenever you gain a level, you gain a new operation of your level or lower. So you'll get one of these moves in advanced moves 2 to 5, and you'll also, if you scroll down to your spells, get basically it'll be another first level operation because you just turned level 2 and your next set is at level 3. So you'll get another
okay.
first level operation on top of.
Now I can toast instead of just
Okay.
burning it.
Double toast, make it crispy. We taking the mending then for sure.
That makes sense. That makes
And
sense.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna take. Yeah, I think experience mechanic looks no, electromagnetic detection looks really good.
When you have your instruments around, you know if there are any machines within sight or hidden and where they are. You can detect their general location or pinpoint them depending on how well you do. Okay, yeah.
Machine spidey senses.
That's pretty neat, yeah. And pretty
I think that's called a metal detector.
helpful for this
Wow.
upcoming adventure, possibly. If you're working
My
with
metal
security.
detector is tingling.
Cookie, what about you? What stat did you increase, and what is our new fun cook skill?
I took a +1 to intelligence, so that brings me up to a +1 in intelligence. Only way to improve my character.
You're telling me Slippy was the smart one this whole time?
Yeah, my stats are technically in wisdom, not intelligence. I'm not sure how that applies in this game. I'm really torn because I was thinking about Butcher. That's a move that lets you forage for ingredients inside the corpses of your enemies.
Nice.
Non-humanoid only.
Oh.
I think we can change
Or
that.
I guess non-intelligent only.
Oh. This
Yeah,
was too
like,
smart. Don't want to eat it.
I think that seems to imply that you have a moral compass opposed to that. I don't feel like you do.
I'm
Nope.
Maybe a little
it
bit.
seems to.
I
So there's that, which is fun and useful. The other option is a move called No Stone Unturned, which when I get a 10 plus on my forage rolls, which I often seem to, I can choose to get a D6 portions of a secret ingredient instead of my normal haul.
Whoa.
I don't get any control over. It's sort of like the opposite of Test Kitchen. I have no control over what this ingredient is, and my character does not know what it does. I have to prepare it and then watch someone eat it before I find out what the ingredient does. But it is a secret ingredient, so it does do something special.
I like that one.
How exciting.
For Butcher, for you, I would say nothing from an insectoid race. Like,
That's
ant or
fine.
wasp.
As an American, I don't really know how to cook bugs anyways. So,
True.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Or robots. But you can't eat robots anyway.
I can try.
No bugs or things that are inedible.
All right.
Yeah.
I might have to circle back to Butcher. I think for now, No Stone Unturned sounds like a hoot because
I like that a lot.
option for a secret ingredient, a mystery
Mystery
Just
secret
like
ingredient does sound
mystery
pretty
secret
fun.
ingredient, and I get a D6 of them.
So it could be more.
It's potential for a bunch of secret ingredients. If I get a 5 or a 6, it's potential for more things than if I had stuck with the other things. So it's some fun gambling. I think I am going to go with No Stone Unturned.
I like No Stone Unturned. I like all of these. I like that everyone is leveled up and everyone is prepared for this next adventure. There's no health increases with levels. It's just that sort of stat. So whoever got the Constitution, I think, except for Slippy gets the health increase of an extra point there. But in the interim, you folks, we're heading towards a populated casino planet. You guys will have options of gambling. There will be horse races that you will be attending, most specifically to guard this dude. But that there will be those kinds of things. You can imagine an adventure of gambling. So if in the interim, if you peek through the shop and there's anything you want to buy, we can redo that when we come back after you've had time to like think about stuff you may want to assess before we take off on our next adventure towards Casino Planet. I will say the one I have least worked on of the three presented. So I'm excited to do all that work.
All right.